The shadows of dusk fall over the dense Apache sitgreaves forest in the frozen interior of Arizona. It was November 1975. The air is cold, biting. Among tall trunks and twisted branches, the echo of axes reverberates through the woods. The sound of chainsaws cuts through the silence, scattering sparks of golden sawdust across the dark ground. The day is ending, and the already imposing moon paints the sky, and in the background, shades of blood and rust. Welcome to Contact Files, your channel for horror and suspense stories. To make sure you don't miss anything, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. And now, we will delve into Travis Walton's account. Travis Walton, a 22-year-old lumberjack from rural Arizona, worked alongside his companions, surrounded by the growing shadows of the forest. Exhausted, he longed for the day to end. The red light of twilight reflected on his dirty, sweaty face, as if the sky itself were announcing something strange. He is the youngest of the group and the most attentive to his surroundings, while his companions are already showing signs of fatigue. From time to time, he looks up at the sky, where a single cloud moves slowly, as if observing everything from above. The chainsaws are switched off. One by one, silence returns. A mist rises and spreads across the ground. Heavy, dense, almost palpable. The forest seems to listen. Travis and his group finish another day of work and pack everything up. As it was getting very dark, they gather around his truck. The cold metal reflects the last glimmer of dusk. Boots thump against the dry ground, and the sound echoes among the trees, quickly fading into the distance. They get into the truck, and Travis starts the engine. The engine roars hesitantly. The vehicle moves slowly along the dark road, where visibility is barely visible beyond the headlights, dodging tree trunks that now seem closer, as if the forest narrows with each passing meter. The stars shine in the sky as if they were about to fall. No sound except the engine. Only the yellowish headlight cutting through the darkness and the crackling of twigs under the wheels. Time seems to stretch out, each second extended by an inexplicable sensation that there is something beyond the trees, watching. Suddenly, a low hum, as if the air itself were vibrating. And then, a flash, distant, almost imperceptible. A white, pulsating light among the dark treetops. The truck continues for a few more meters until the sound of the engine seems to choke. And, little by little, the forest begins to glow, as if a presence were materializing among the shadows. The light grows silently in front of the truck and seems to approach as if it were about to hit. Travis slams on the brakes, and the truck stops suddenly. The light begins to descend and diminish, taking shape. Travis and his friends were terrified, paralyzed with fear, speechless, barely able to breathe. Seconds seemed to stretch into hours, until Travis, without saying a word, slowly opened the truck door and walked towards the object. With heavy steps, as if his whole body were being pulled downwards, he gets so close that he can see the object and its details. Before him, hovering a few meters above the ground, is something impossible to comprehend that leaves him paralyzed. Just a few meters away, his body trembles, torn between the instinct to flee and the hypnotic pull that keeps him there, motionless, watching. On impulse, he tries to move, but he can't. He feels a force, a kind of energy, preventing him. The light intensifies. It becomes dense. He can almost touch it. And then the unexpected happens. A blue lightning bolt in a luminous explosion strikes him squarely in the chest, throwing his body backward, as if an invisible force ripped him from the ground. Travis can no longer see anything. The light completely blinds him, and he loses consciousness. The sound of the impact is lost in the air. The light disappears as quickly as it appeared, and what remains is silence. An impossible silence, where not even the wind dares to penetrate. His friends panic at what they have just witnessed. The silence is broken by nervous shouts and gasping breaths. One of them, with trembling hands, manages to start the truck, and the engine finally roars like a cry of escape. The vehicle lurches off abruptly. The wheels spin on the damp earth, and they speed down the dark road without looking back, fleeing not only from the light, but from the impossible that had just revealed itself before them. A low, steady hum fills the air, like the distant sound of an electric current. Travis slowly awakens. His vision is blurry. The air feels thick and metallic. He lies on a sort of table, cold, smooth, surrounded by a pale light that casts no shadows. He tries to move his arms, but they are heavy, as if his body no longer belongs to him. His head throbs, and the sound of his own heart echoes in his ears. The air smells of iron, mixed with something chemical, almost sweet. When his eyes finally adjust to the brightness, he notices shapes moving around him. Small, silent, with precise movements. 3, perhaps 4 figures. Their skin is grayish, almost translucent under the white light. Their eyes, large, black, expressionless, stare at him, reflecting the terror he feels inside. No sound, no words. Only the soft rustle of short footsteps on the metal floor. One of them approaches. He carries something in his hands, a thin, gleaming instrument, like an elongated needle. Travis tries to scream, but nothing comes out. Only the muffled echo of his own breathing, growing faster and faster. They don't blink. They just watch you, studying every breath, every attempt at movement. Their nostrils are 2 slits, their mouths a narrow line that never moves. The ambient light vibrates slightly, as if reacting to their presence. The air grows heavier, his chest tightens. One of the beings raises the silver instrument and slowly brings it closer. A sharp, metallic sound fills the room. Panic takes over. Travis feels something piercing his skin, and everything dissolves into flashes of light and pain. As the light dims and the deep sound fades, Travis awakens again, gasping, covered in cold sweat. He is alone. The surroundings have changed. He stumbles to his feet, the ground seeming to vibrate beneath them. Ahead of him stretches a narrow corridor with curved, smooth, polished metal walls reflecting a pulsating white light. With each step, Travis feels his body slow and heavy, but he continues to struggle to try to escape. The silence is almost absolute, broken only by the sound of his breathing. And glancing for a moment, he thinks he sees movement, a human silhouette at the end of the corridor. As he approaches, he makes out a tall figure, almost human in appearance, but still strange. Travis tries to speak, but the words die in his throat. The man doesn't answer, only makes a slow gesture with his hand, indicating that he should follow him. His gaze is serene, impassive, but there is something inhuman in his lack of expression. He follows the man down another corridor, to a large room illuminated by diffuse golden light. There, 3 other beings await him, all human-looking, with the same calm expression and the same impeccable uniforms. In the center of the room, a large curved window opens onto space, a sky filled with stars that spin in impossible movements, as if time did not exist there. Travis watches, stunned, bewildered. One of the beings approaches with an object in its hands, a translucent, almost invisible mask. Before he can react, the device is gently placed over his face. His vision blurs, the air thickens, sound fades, the starlight dissolves into a white whirlwind. An intense cold cuts through his skin. The air now smells of rain and wet earth. Travis wakes suddenly, coughing, his body stiff and covered in a thin layer of dust and leaves. His eyes blink against the natural light, the glow of the stars and the moon. With his body heavy, he tries to stand up, but his legs give way. He looks around, confused and unsure of how much time has passed. The road is familiar. He can recognize parts of the landscape. He realizes he's on a path he vaguely recognizes, a few kilometers from where he disappeared. He walks to the most visible point on the road and sees lights in the distance, a house or perhaps vehicles. And with effort, he continues walking, without fully understanding or remembering what happened. Eventually, he spots a gas station where he can ask for help. It was already dawn when Travis called one of his friends from a small roadside diner. On the other end of the line, a weak, trembling voice.
This is Travis. Come pick me up.
When his friends found him, the shock was mutual. Travis was okay, but different. He avoided talking. He said he only remembered waking up on a deserted road, confused, as if he had slept for only a few hours. But more had passed. 5 days. Later, Travis learned his co-workers' version of events. They had fled in panic, believing he had been captured or killed by the light that descended from the sky. They fled in despair. But a few hours later, overwhelmed by guilt and doubt, they returned to the forest. The place was completely silent. The craft had disappeared, and so had Travis. In the following hours, the search began with the help of police and volunteers from the region. Sniffer dogs, flashlights, and helicopters. But no trace, no clue. Official investigations found no evidence, but they never denied the case either. And to this day, no one has been able to fully explain how he survived 5 days in that forest. Travis Walton was never the same again, and he still tells his story. today. Thanks those of you who stayed until the end of the video. So leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and click here on the card to watch a new incredible story. See you next time here at Contact Files.